Take a moment.
In the heart of Dover, a tale unfolded, leaving a lasting impact on many. This isn't just a story, it's a slice of reality, reminding us how easily any of us could find ourselves in its midst. Lizzie Marriott, whose vanishing act left a wake of mysteries and unanswered questions. But Lizzie's disappearance is just one piece of a larger puzzle. Katherine McDNA, nicknamed Kat, who one day made a pivotal call to the authorities. She decided it was time to unveil the truth about her boyfriend for the past several years. Their romance began with all the trappings of affection: flowers, compliments, undivided attention. But behind closed doors, Seth's attitude changed. Intimacy with him turned rough, revealing a darker side to the man once thought to be caring and attentive. Seth seemed like a nice guy on the outside, but he was hiding something very bad. He would tell Kat about scary things he wanted to do, like hurting or killing someone. One time, he grabbed her neck so hard that she thought he might kill her. Despite these harrowing experiences, Katherine remained with him, trapped in a cycle of fear and manipulation. Seth constantly pushed for other women to join their relationship, but none stayed for long, likely repelled by his unsettling behavior. After summoning up her bravery, Katherine ran away to her parents' house just half a mile away. She never saw Seth again. Her story revealed the scary truth. Seth wasn't the loving partner he acted like. His facade crumbled, leaving behind fear and horror. Now, the question is, who is Seth? 30-year-old Seth had a degree in theater arts from the University of New Hampshire. He was also an emergency doctor and had a black belt in karate. Seth worked at an electrical goods store as a regular consultant and also taught martial arts. When Seth met 17-year-old Kat McDNA, he quickly proposed to her. As soon as Kat turned 18, she moved into Seth's apartment in Dover, New Hampshire. Kat's friends noticed a big change in her after she started dating Seth. She became quiet and stopped hanging out with friends or talking to her family. Kat's parents didn't like her relationship with Seth, and Kat chose to stop talking to them altogether. Couple practiced BDSM Seth. Dominant, Kat obeyed him. Kat also posted online, "My boss and I are looking for a slave and rent. We are looking for a woman for an intimate relationship and household chores. My boss is 30 years old. I am 18 and totally obedient that way." Elizabeth Marriott's nickname, Lizzie, was a woman from Massachusetts. She was born in 1993 and grew up in a loving family with a younger brother. Lizzie really loved animals, especially frogs. After finishing high school in 2011, Lizzie went to college in her city and also volunteered to help animals. In 2012, she moved to the University of New Hampshire to study marine biology, which was her dream. To save money, Lizzie stayed with her aunt and uncle in Chester. She worked part-time as a manager at Target. Everyone who knew her described her as kind and always ready to help. On October 9th, 2012, Lizzie had a normal day at university until around 8 p.m. when she drove home. She left a note for her aunt saying she was visiting a friend and would be back before midnight. But she didn't return, not at midnight, not later that night, and not even by Wednesday morning. Her aunt and uncle thought she might have stayed with a friend, but by Thursday, she still hadn't come back. Her aunt called Lizzie's parents, who lived 2 hours away. They hadn't heard from her either. Lizzie's parents immediately went to look for her, calling the police on the way. They reported Lizzie missing. No one knew which friend she had gone to see that night. The police searched for Lizzie, but her phone was off. She wasn't on social media, and there was no activity in her bank account. They thought she might have had. Lizzie's parents asked the public for help and offered a reward of $10,000 for any information about her. Police interviewed friends of a missing woman and discovered she was last seen with Kat McDNA, a recent friend from work. Kat lived with her boyfriend, Seth Mazzalia, whom she met a year ago at the theater. On October 12th, both were questioned separately about the woman's disappearance. Kat denied seeing her, while Seth gave conflicting information. The police suspected their involvement in the disappearance. He didn't hide that Lizzie did come to visit them. Seth admitted he loved both girls and tied them in strings. Once something went wrong and Lizzie died in an accident, Seth's interview rosary lasted 11 hours, he said. After Lizzie died, he and Kat took Lizzie's body to the city of Portsmouth. When they reached the point where the river flows into the Atlantic Ocean, they threw the body into the water and went home. Seth Masalia's interview was strictly classified, so no one believed the police knew the details after all, who confessed to investigators. The police and Seth went to the place where Lizzie's body was believed to have been dumped, according to Seth. Seth was arrested and charged with murder. Lizzie's parents were informed of the terrible news. The mother and father said they felt their daughter was already dead Sunday, October 13th. Why Seth killed her? What was the reason why Seth confessed so easily? Everyone wants to know, so let's check out. The investigation of the case was in full swing. Detectives searched Seth's apartment. The apartment was a mess, and detectives couldn't find any indication. Police also patrolled the area there. Seth and the dumpster detectives near his house found a bag of men's underwear with black leather gloves, and later found that Lizzie's hoodie had traces of Seth's and Lizzie's DNA on the men's underwear that could show that they sent their closest. Police contacts to find Lizzie. They couldn't find the girl's body. Detectives concluded that 2 days after Seth Masalia's arrest, Lizzie was swept into the Atlantic Ocean with his current girlfriend, Katherine McDNA. The three of them watched a movie and then started playing strip poker. When the game they got aroused and all three decided to have intimate contact, they agreed to this. Their intimacy started with kisses and caresses. Who took the picture admitted that everything was fine at first, but once Lizzie was lying tied to the floor, she suddenly had a seizure. She started drowned, and shortly after lost consciousness and died. Lizzie's family refused to believe that the girl volunteered from strangers that she could consent to have intimate contact with. Kat got arrested for messing with the investigation. While in jail, Kat and Seth planned to escape and get married. Their plan didn't work out. Seth believed in magic and thought death wasn't the end. Kat started to see things more clearly the longer she stayed away from Seth. The prosecutors offered Kat a deal if she told the truth about what really happened. The night Lizzie died, her prison time would be shorter, just 3 years. In court in May 2014, Seth faced charges for his role in the crime. Prosecutors argued that Seth's actions were deliberate and cruel. They presented messages he sent to Kat 6 weeks before the tragedy. Seth asked Kat to find someone to join them in their apartment and be a slave. He also demanded Kat to find him a new girlfriend while she was away in August 2012. Kat didn't find a replacement during her absence. Seth began threatening Kat, saying he would punish her severely if she didn't comply. Kat admitted in court that she was scared of Seth and followed his orders. She invited Lizzie over one evening, as Seth wanted. They played strip poker to prepare Lizzie for an intimate encounter. Kat said Seth knew Lizzie was coming and thought she was attractive. They were playing cards and having fun when Lizzie arrived at the apartment around 9 p.m. on October 9th. She joined them in the game. Lizzie lost the most in the game, and she ended up wearing only her underwear. When Lizzie lost again, Seth asked her to kiss Kat, but the girl refused because she was in a serious relationship. Seth suggested to Lizzie he wants an intimate relationship with her in another room, but she also refused. After this refusal, he became furious. Kat and Lizzie were sitting on the floor watching a movie together. Seth went to the next room where he wore black leather gloves and then threw the rope over her neck and beat her. She died. Unfortunately, Lizzie landed on rocks instead of in the water. They had to drag her body into the river and clean up evidence. Afterward, Kat didn't go to the police because she feared Seth. She lied about Lizzie's disappearance to protect herself from Seth's potential harm. At the trial, Kat cried without tears, claiming she didn't know why she was crying. Seth's lawyer said Kat was a liar because she was an actress, but he believed her first story about Lizzie's accidental death during intimacy. Seth admitted helping hide the body, but said he didn't kill Lizzie. Evidence like gloves with Lizzie's DNA suggested Seth planned the crime. In 2014, Seth was convicted of murder and got life without parole. Kat got 3 years after pleading guilty. She was released in 2016. Lizzie's body was never found.